Welcome to Builder Nation. On today's episode, we are excited to introduce OneTwoBeer, a company bringing efficiency and simplicity to large-scale events with their automated beer dispensing systems. With just the push of a button, they've made easier than ever to serve perfect beers quickly, cutting down on wait times and boosting sales. OneTwoBeer's technology is designed for seamless integration at festivals, stadiums, and events, ensuring consistent service without the need for specialized staff. Keep watching to hear more about how they are changing game for beverage service at major venues. Today we are joined by Balazs Blaho, Co-Founder and CEO at OneTwoBeer. Welcome, Balazs. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much for the invitation, Taksha.
Okay, well, I read a post you made on LinkedIn 1 year ago, approx, saying that after working more than 10 years in different companies as mechanical engineer and lead engineer, you decide to take one more step into the entrepreneurial zone. So I want to know what inspired the creation of OneTwoBeer.
So we were also in festivals, visited several times, and waiting a long time in a queue to get a beer. And during this waiting time with our friends, we discussed about the solution. How can we solve it better? As we are engineers, we saw that we can bring up a solution and show us the customers. And that was the moment that the idea of OneTwoBeer was born. And we prepared our first working prototype, introduced it to several breweries, to several event companies, and we made our first prototype testings. And the first testings were good, promising. And about the first results, we developed our product further. And 2 years ago, we were ready to introduce our first serial production into the market. And with this serial production, we launched at several events like beer pong events, some festivals. And our first market launch was in Austria, Czech Republic, and Hungary. And in these countries, we could convince the biggest breweries, the biggest festivals, event providers. And this year, we just started our international expansion.
Wow, that's really cool. And you remember how was this first prototype that you talked about, the OneTwoBeer machine, how it was, and maybe what was difficult at that moment to make that first prototype?
The first prototype was a self-service machine. That means with a push of a button, you get a beer, and it was made for end customers. So who are visiting any event can push a button and get the beer. So that was the idea behind this concept. And this first prototype was a big coffee machine box. So we bought an old coffee machine, we disassembled that, and we built our machine inside of this box. And it worked. It had an automatic cup dispenser, it had a sliding window to get the beers and be protected from the unattended damages. And it was a little bit big, this machine, and the product was not scalable. As we introduced at several events in a bar, in an existing bar, it was difficult to implement. And exactly at this introduction points, we discovered it would be better, compact and an efficient machine, which we can use in any bars, in any event. So that was the moment that we introduced our current product with 2 tapping heads. It has just the size of 40 centimeters in the sizes, and it's really easy to move. It can be pushed in any car. In a one personal car, you can transport 6 machines without any issue. So it's really easy to transport, easy scalable, and it's also easy to produce these machines.
Yeah, I was checking how it was now, how is now the machine, and it's really like compact. As you said, it's easy to transport, easy to install in a place that doesn't take too much space. So and I know that what the most like the principal advantage of One2Beer machine is that the time that you save for everybody, but I want to hear from you what specific advantages does One2Beer provide compared to traditional beer dispensers?
So compare the traditional beer dispensers, it works with a push of buttons, and you get a perfect poured beer without losses. In a manual beer tap, in a conventional beer tap, you need to have a professional bartender, a professional tapper who has experience, who has some training to make a perfect pour
Yeah.
of the beer. And with our machine, it makes possible just with the push of a button, you get a perfectly tapped beer in 5 seconds. And it has always the perfect quality, always the perfect foam, and without losses. So it makes the biggest advantage in especially in big events like festivals, stadiums, where difficult to hire staff. In
Mm-hmm.
a normal casual stadium event, you need to have 500 people. They are working there, and most of them are new people. They are students, and you have just 10 or 20% normal staff that they have this experience how to do it, and 80% are unexperienced. They are students, and they cannot tap.
Yeah.
And for the students, it's a really good solution. They can go there, push the button, and also the same situation at festivals. In festivals, you hire students mostly in the bars, and these students cannot tap properly the beer. So they are our main target groups, these events, festivals, and stadiums.
Yeah, I was checking that One2Beer was a Taylor Swift concert, the Nova Rock Festival, and we know that those huge events last many hours, as you said. They hire young people, students that probably doesn't have the professional experience for this. So, how does the One2Beer system manage to pour up the 1,000 beers per hour? Maintaining the quality, because as I said, it takes like many hours in those events.
It works with our patented solution. It was a long time development and research inside, and the machine has a buffer tank inside, which means it ensures the perfect source of the beer, because in this buffer tank there is always enough beer to tap. And the second part of the system is our development, our tapping valve, which is moving into the cup. And in this physical principle that the valve is moving into the cup, the pouring quality is always under the perfect conditions, because as soon as the beer is tapping in the bottom of the glass, it will have a small liquid level, and the whole process is under control. And with this method, we can guarantee that the process is always under the control, and the only requirement from the event side is a good cooler. If a good cooler is given, the machine gives always the perfect beer in a really good time.
Yeah, as I told you, I was watching the video how the One2Beer machine works, and it's really crazy. Like you just put the glass or the cup, and the machine do everything and finish exactly at the exact point, and doesn't have too much foam, because I think that most of us we saw that, or we are at least one time we tried to pour a beer on a glass, and they are a lot of foam, and it's like it's not good to drink a beer like that.
Exactly. So that was the main point to make the automatization. As you mentioned, all people can put the cups into the machine, and pouring the beer, this is the challenge. And we made the automatization for the biggest challenge for the pouring. And during these seconds, in these 5 seconds, the staff can concentrate in other things. They can take the next order, they can take the cash or the card payment, and they can focus on the customers and make the whole selling process quicker. And with the manual pouring, they have to have two hands, and they are blocked because in this 10 or 15 seconds, as the manual tapping takes, they lost the customer, they lost the interaction, and they are stuck in this process. And with our machine, with one push of button, they get two beers in the same time. So it's 4 times more efficient than a normal tap.
Yeah, and in those large events as concerts, festivals, you have people that wants to buy something like really quick because they want to go back to see the artist or to do something else and not wait too much for one beer, because for me it's always a problem when I am in a concert. It's like I don't want to move from here because I know that if I go there I will be like a huge queue waiting for one beer or for something to eat, and then I will lost something at the concert. So I with this I think that is really helpful and will be everything quicker. Will help a lot of people. As you said, you increase the well, you don't increase, you reduce the time of pouring a beer and the interaction. You don't lose the interaction with the people, and it's really, really cool. And it's possible in this machine to have two different type of beers or not?
Yes, in one machine there are two input lines, and the two input lines can be different, and you can put two different liquids. It can be also not just beer, it can be also any soda drink, any wine. So any products from a tank or from a keg can be poured, and you can pour also different portions. In a machine there are three pre-selected options, and also the customers can make adjustments in which portion they would like to have the machine. And for our international expansion, we prepared also for the American standards, and also for any countries in any language, the user interface is already available.
That's really cool. I thought that, yeah, I was reading something that you can have two different type of beer, but I didn't know that you can also have like two different type of liquids. Like it's really, really cool. And as I said, it's really helpful for people like to do everything quick, to not lose time like waiting with the two hands holding one cup and then the other thing. So I think it's really cool. And I was watching some videos, I was watching the Instagram, and was really impressive for me to see this. Like you maybe people think that it will be like something super easy, but when you have this machine, you increase everything. Yeah, you help people, you help the people that you are hiring. Like as you said, they are students, so they don't have the experience to do this. So I think that it's really crazy and helpful for people.
And especially for the event visitors, because they have more fun time. They can concentrate and focus on the event and not waiting long in a queue. And also for the caterers, because during these quick processes, they can increase the sales, and they have more happy customers. And they can also acquire the losses because some people, they don't want to wait in a queue. They see with this process is quicker, so they go to buy a beer because it goes quick.
Yeah, that's true. And what are some of the main challenges in developing this system for high traffic event? What challenge you had or you are having now, maybe while you are developing the machine since the first prototype to now? What do you experience with that?
The biggest challenge was in the event to make it more convenient. In the first version, we just focused on the beer tap and not in the whole solution. And in the events, it was also necessary to have a mobile version included with a cooler, plug and play. So we got this request last year, and this year we were able to provider machines together with a cooler, plug and play, ready to tap, and it was a good development step to make the machine more convenient for the event providers.
Oh, well, that's, I mean, I imagine that it's something really complicated at the beginning, but then when you are starting to do it, you are finding what things you can improve for the events managers or the companies that wants to have their own machine. So I think that that's really cool. And continue talking about the challenge. I want to talk about the challenge, but in today's business, what are the principal challenges that you had in the past or have now in the procurement process, and what strategies do you use to ensure your supply chains remain resilient and adaptable?
The biggest challenge was in the beginning the financing of the research and the development. And to procure suppliers, it was pretty easy because in the beginning we get to know a guy who has a factory and he was interested in our product. He is itself a football player and he has some connections in the football stadiums, and he helped us in the first serial production to make it happen, this machine and this production. And after it, we made a bigger branding, a bigger name. He helped us to find new suppliers, which has more practical background. And this procurement process was pretty okay until now. And now we are scaling up this year for 100 machines. And next year, the production will ramp up for the 1,000 units.
Wow, that's really cool, and that's what I'm going to ask next. What we can expect in the near future for OneTwoBeer, or what you sometimes I like to ask what your dreams for maybe how you see OneTwoBeer in 5-10 years.
Currently, we have a IoT project, also research and development for monitoring system for our machines. Each of our machine has a small computer built in. It has a Wi-Fi connection and it's collecting data. And wow. Each machine is connected to the air with a cloud system, and the customers can reach out the data of the machines and control the data. And this system is now in the rollout phase. For the next customers, they are bought our machines, they will have this system already. It's already included in our package.
Wow, that's really cool, and I hope that everything goes in the right path for OneTwoBeer. I'm sure about that, and I am hoping that the expansion keep going everywhere in the world, because now I know that you expanded to some countries in Europe, some in the US. So I think that this is the good path for OneTwoBeer, and I'm really excited to hear more about it and to see how it goes in the next few years. And as we talked in the beginning, that you left like your previous jobs about the engineering, like in some companies. What advice would you give to the young entrepreneurs that are starting their own journey as you did some years ago?
So I was 10 years applied as how can I say, I was an employee for 10 years, and I learned in several jobs, in several roles. In the beginning as an engineer, later on a project manager, later on as a project lead, and also a team lead of engineers. And it was more and more exciting at the beginning. But in the end, I recognized as an employee in a big company, I will be just a chain member in the big chain. And I wanted to shape the future in my own way. And it was not possible in a big company, in a big corporation, because big corporates have strong rules regarding any processes, how to talk with suppliers, how to talk with customers, and so on. So I wanted to make in my own this journey, and it was make happen at OneTwoBeer, because here I have the possibility and the full responsibility to talk with customers, with suppliers, and it's a really nice journey how to bring a product into the market, and how can it be sold internationally. And currently we are focusing in our international sales. We have also advisor on the board. He helps us with good contacts, with good advices, and it's a really nice process to learn it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what do you think for you will be your top one advice for people that want to start their own company?
The top one advice is just try it, just do it, and don't be fair.
Yeah, that's true, because sometimes when you want to do something, you have the fear that maybe this is not going to work, how I'm going to do it. And I think that it's really important to just do it, and you will see in the way how you manage everything. Yeah, so thank you so much, Balazs, for being here and sharing all your valuable insights with us. It was really cool to hear your ideas and learn from you, learn how OneTwoBeer works. Where can we find you and OneTwoBeer? Any social media handles or website you would like to share?
So you can see us our website at the OneTwoBeer.com, and we have also social media in Instagram, Facebook, hashtag OneTwoBeer, and also LinkedIn channel OneTwoBeer.
Okay, perfect. And for everybody that is watching, be sure to visit our website, buildernation.io. You can also connect with us on LinkedIn by following Builder Nation for the latest updates and exclusive content. Thank you all for being part of this amazing community. We will see you in the next episode. A special thanks again to Balazs for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Daksha.